What's goody? We back for another podcast. You got me, your boy, the Great Robino. And you got them other two over there, JT and Flyman. Go ahead and say something.
Yes, sir. JT, Job Turkey. You know how it is.
I like that one. What it do? It's your boy Flyman for the people. How we feeling in these crazy times?
I'm feeling great.
I'm just here.
Feeling okay. I'm running low on TP and a little concerned about our food, but
I feel a little bored these days. I can't go to the gym. I can't go out to eat. That's like half my social interaction right there.
I've been able to work out at home, but you know where I live, all this out to eat. We can't do that.
Oh, that's true.
Man, I'm confused because I got all this milk and I got this protein powder, and I'm like, I don't want to take this protein if I'm not working out.
You better just just take it. You don't want that milk to go bad.
Well, it's almond milk though, so it lasts for a long time.
Oh yeah, almond milk do be lasting for a while.
It would be handy to have weights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just gotta throw your body around.
Hey man, you gotta do 1,000 push-ups in one day. That thing was terrible. My chest hurt.
Hey,
I saw 1,000 in one day.
1,000 in one day.
Are you insane?
I did like
thought
100 for 10 hours or something.
I thought you mistyped and said.
Oh no. Oh, no sir. I did 1,000.
Oh lord.
Hey, I saw this meme though where they're talking about how they can't go to the gym because it's closed down, and this dude he poured soap on the floor and put water on it right in front of the sink, so he's holding the sink and walking as if it's like a treadmill. Yeah.
He looked like he moonwalking.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's effective at all, but I mean, because you can still go outside. You can still get a pretty good healthy run in.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be doing. Apart from 1,000 push-ups.
But for the topic today, because none of that was with the topic. The topic today is that each of us went and picked an old classic game, at least classic to us, that we would want remastered, and maybe how we want to remaster it. So that's what we getting into. I'm gonna let them go first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. GT,
Alright,
how
fine.
are you feeling?
Take that away.
You want me to take it away?
Yeah, start us off.
All right. Bet. So, I have about 3.
Oh wow.
I feel like I would really want to remake. The first one is a classic for me. It holds, I hold it very dear.
Classic, man.
Like many before. I don't know how I got a hold of these games as a kid. Like, I really don't.
Oh, so you wasn't supposed to be playing them, huh?
No. Not this one. This one I was supposed to play. It was rated E. But I don't know how I got it. Like, I think I traded it. I always used to trade games back and forth with my cousin, but I don't ever remember who had what first. But we had a Nintendo 64. One of my favorite games on Nintendo 64 that desperately needs a revival, remake, or just breathe new life into is Banjo-Kazooie.
Hasn't that been in the talks yet?
Actually, all that I think is back on now.
All that is back.
Yeah, they have Banjo-Kazooie, don't? Or Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, I mean.
Yeah, am I
Okay.
tripping? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's trash.
Oh.
That's not. It wasn't a true platformer like Banjo-Kazooie was. Right? It was completely different. So, I mean, Banjo-Kazooie. Like, what can I say, man? It's a bear with a bird that hangs out in the backpack, and they're best friends. But they bicker back and forth at each other all the time. Kazooie has a wise mouth, and Banjo just be like, "Oh, good."
I'm a bear.
He like that. He like Ed and Eddie, right?
Yeah, he's pretty simple. He's pretty simple, but I feel like just because they're such a dynamic duo and they play off each other and have a whole bunch of synergy with each other, I feel like it would be a nice change of pace for the platforming game genre nowadays. Because I feel like, you know, every game has an element of platforming, but nothing that's like a pure platformer. I don't think there's like a prime pure flat platformer game besides like Mario nowadays, or Donkey Kong, or I guess I could even consider like Rayman or the Ori and the Blind Forest series or something, right? There's not like it's not a strong genre, you know what I mean? In terms of what's there, I feel like with diversity. But yeah, man, just think about it. Like they play off each other, and if we had a modern game with just beautiful graphics like Mario Odyssey, just full of so much color and character and life, like it would be awesome. I mean, Banjo Kazooie is like
And that
prime
ugly
for that.
witch.
Yeah, it's prime for that. And then you know, you could do crazy platforming stuff with them. Like I remember Banjo Tooie, second one, but I remember Banjo Tooie did a lot of controlling Kazooie actually in certain things, and like she had like a bigger part in terms of like stuff you could do with her, and I could just see that. Like I don't know, one of the things you could do with her is like she could run, like you could take control of her and she could run, and like Banjo is on Kazooie's back, and you know she could like run up walls. Or there's a part where you could fly. One of the funnest levels, like it was like Cloud Cuckoo Land or something like that. And you could, yeah, and you could like fly around with Kazooie and shoot eggs and stuff like that, because Kazooie also shoot eggs. And Banjo, there was like even a first-person shooter part in Banjo Tooie where you picked up Kazooie and it was like shooting eggs.
I'm still on the
from her
fact
mouth.
that you said that she was running with Banjo on her back. She was
Yeah,
carrying
yeah.
that big bear.
Yeah.
Right. That's the funny thing about it. And then yeah, just think about all the cool platforming stuff you could do now with just modern graphics and modern game capabilities. And just think about how big the worlds would be. There would be like so much character, and they would be even bigger and more expansive. There would be more intricate parts you could put in, and more cool puzzles, and you could hide the jiggies or whatever you collect. I think they're called jiggies. You could hide the jiggies and
Oh, getting jiggy with it.
yeah, you can hide the jiggies in crazy places and stuff like that. It's perfect. Perfect. Banjo Kazooie needs.
Okay.
If you know, you know, you know. Banjo Kazooie is like needs a revival. It's
Man, I don't.
one of the
know.
most. They're one of the most beloved video game characters. Okay, they need some respect.
I low-key never even played it.
It's fun.
I think I played the demo for Nuts and Bolts.
It's fun. I think the Nintendo 64 still even hold up. Like I would replay those without a problem. Next game I think would benefit greatly from a modernization is none other than the game that started time traveling video games, Chrono Trigger. So if we had a modern Chrono Trigger,
Oh yeah, that
there
was
could be
that art is by the same guy who did Dragon Ball Z too.
Akira
Yeah,
Toriyama.
Toriyama. That's probably how you say
Toriyama?
it.
But yeah, so I mean, the coolest part about Chrono Trigger was the fact that it was one of the first games that did multiple endings.
Oh, true.
And it was just insane to think at that time how in the game you could beat the boss like from the start. I mean, realistically you couldn't until you like New Game Plus'd it, but
Yeah.
it was one of the first games that did that. And I mean, just think about like how many more endings a Chrono Trigger could do, like with modern capabilities and memory and things. It could have updated graphics, which were awesome. I mean, I know the the 16-bit type stuff has its appeal. But Chrono Trigger with modern Akira Toriyama graphics, come on.
Okay.
And you could just think about how much like time travel or more I don't know, repercussions, like systems you could put in place with the time travel stuff, like I don't know, kill a dude or make a controversial choice or kill a dude in like dinosaur times or something, and then
Mhm.
cause an effect when you get to like medieval times or something. Like,
You end up
Yeah.
being like Undertale.
mm-hmm.
It's like, oh,
It
I
just
know
be,
what you did.
yeah, it would just be. But before I don't think it had that capacity to put like extremely intricate choices in it. That, and then
Yeah.
I mean, seeing all the cool, awesome characters again, like Magnus, which he was he was presented as like the main villain at first in a way, but you learn about him and he's not really all that bad. He's just
Oh, wow,
seeking.
spoilers.
And then I mean you got
Damn.
Lavos, the time eater, the creature that's rupturing time, and that fight would be even more epic in the modern look. And then the combat system is perfect. It has the perfect, I guess, core for a modern combat system. So the combat system was a system where each character had different like elemental affinities, right? And they had like team attacks with each other, or you used them together. Like the stronger the team attacks got. So you could have Chrono, which he uses a katana, and then you have Frog, right? They would do a move called X
His
slash.
name was just Frog.
Yeah, his name was
Yeah, he was a frog. I remember that. But he was strong though.
He was strong, yeah. Don't sleep on Frog. He was strong. But they had a move called like X cross, and they would like on the battle screen they would like slide, like intersect and create like a X, like slash enemies with it. Or you could do, her name escapes me. I feel bad. The time.
Matilda.
No, I think it does start with an M. But she's the one that built the time machine, like, and she would like imbue your weapons with fire, her element, stuff like that. And you would do like an elemental attack and stuff like that. Just think, like, on a modern screen, it could work really well. I could even picture it working in the same fashion that the new Final Fantasy combat system, how it's like in the remake with you can give commands to the different characters and stuff like that, and you can control the different ones. And they have different gimmicks to each other. You could do team attacks with each other and stuff like that. So Chrono Trigger is my second. It was definitely, I think it's more than due for remake or revamp or reimagining. I mean, people even still play it to this day. Like it, it's just right. It's just right. It's the right time. I think one game, the last one I can think of, what I think needs a modernization or even at this point a revival of some sort is the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver series. Okay. It was a series that centered around a deep lore with like vampires in a way that you wouldn't necessarily all the way think of vampires. Like, these vampires look different, and they were mystic stuff and stuff like that. And it was just like an awesome story, like expansive, felt like a whole bunch of betrayal and just, I don't know, cool themes and stuff like that. And like I said, the world of Nosgoth was just really dope. Yeah, it was just really dope. It's like one of the best like filled worlds, honestly.
I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out. I mean, the games are like now. Like we're talking like PlayStation and PlayStation 2 era. But they're real dope.
I feel like I probably have heard about it, but I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, it revolves around Kane, this human who becomes like a vampire lord, and he basically has like a long reign and takes the vampire clan to like new heights in the world of Nosgoth, and eventually he has like these generals, and he becomes jealous and envious of this one general, and he basically like rips his vampire wings off and leaves him for dead, but he comes back as a wraith. So that's when the Soul Reaver series picks up, and you play Raziel, the fallen vampire who's now a wraith. And like one of his designs, he was like all blue, and like he wore like a cowl, and like underneath his cowl, like his mouth. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I thought you said he wore a cow, and I was like, wait, what?
No.
I thought he said cow.
No. And underneath his cowl, he had like he didn't have a jaw because like dude.
And they did him
jaw.
like that?
Yeah, this dude ripped his jaw off, and like
How that man eat though?
he couldn't eat. He was a wraith. He was dead and brought back to life. So, but I remember playing it. I remember playing Soul Reaver 2 PC on my dad's computer. Like I don't even know. I don't know why he had the game for some reason. I played it and I was like, what is this? Like I don't know. I just thought his design was so dope, and then like it was like super bloody, and I was like impaling vampires and other types of stuff. And then like it gets crazy because it starts dealing with time travel and like how he wants to go back in time and basically get revenge on Kane, this other types of stuff. And then it had puzzles, and puzzles were, back as a kid, those puzzles were stupidly hard. Like I had no idea what I was doing. But I mean, even now as an adult, they were kind of tough going through it. But
So
and
what do you want from me?
right.
Yeah.
And the combat was I mean, the puzzles dealt with like switching realms and all this other types of stuff, and moving things out of one realm into the other. And then
that
like
sound like God of War.
hmm and then the combat dealt with like Raziel, he had access to the Soul Reaver, which basically it hurt you when you hit people with it, but it was like really strong. It was like a risk group type of play to it, and I think it was only effective on certain enemies too. And then I mean, modern remake would make use of like awesome cinematics and cinematic fights like God of War and stuff like that. It'd just be dope, man. And you could do you can have like greater capabilities with vampire and wraith powers, and it would just be, you could have like amazing intricate puzzles, you know what I mean? Like it'd just be dope, especially since the puzzles dealt with just like environment and realm stuff. Like I can think of like I don't know, maybe not in the same manner, but I thought it was dope. The Breath of the Wild was the dungeons was like the whole dungeon was a puzzle, like the actual dungeon, if that makes sense.
Like the labyrinth in God of War 3, the big cube box.
Yeah, in a way, right? Because like you in the Zelda game, you're like on the dungeon are these beasts, and the beasts are a puzzle themselves. Like you can do stuff to the beasts to help you get through the dungeon, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So those would be my three for sure.
Alright. I'm rolling with them. I only know one of them, but I'm rolling with it.
It be like that sometimes.
They sound dope though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm telling you,
I
bro.
would have to look and see to jog the memory if I've even seen them, but That last one does not sound too familiar to me.
Yeah, it's an old series.
All right. Am I taking the next one?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Do what it do.
All right, because Robino always liked to be last. Well, I think I haven't played this game, but it'd be nice if they did review it. I haven't played the Half-Life series before.
Oh, true that.
It'd be kind of tight if they brought that back so we can like actually try it.
They have a VR for it actually. I don't know.
But I don't have a VR.
I also don't know where the VR story is in place with the actual story.
You know what would seem like another interesting one to play? I know it's been on like Watch Mojo time, but like System Shock, I kind of want to see what a modern remake of that is.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm not sure
Showdown?
which one that is.
That's the one with the computer lady that's taking over the ship.
and she's like, it's like a scary game in a
Yeah.
manner, like
She's like,
sci-fi.
I am Shoden or something like that.
Oh, maybe I have seen it. But yeah, I think if they ramped up the graphics a little bit, they could keep the same playstyle, but that's a little bit better voice acting on a new system.
Hey, they didn't even they didn't do that Half-Life 3 though.
That's true.
That's what people are waiting on, man.
Damn, man, they should just remaster 1 and 2 and then drop 3, and then everyone's life will be happy. Because I haven't played it yet.
They're probably just like, oh, we making all this money from Steam and Dota. We ain't gotta worry about that.
Right.
Man, they better drop something. But I was gonna mention 2 games that I think would be cool to bring back and revamp a little bit. Both of them are actually racing games.
Okay.
So the first one is in my opinion, is a classic on the PS2. Perhaps a cult classic, because I don't know how many people actually played this game. It was called Kinetica.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Kinetica, it's like a futuristic racing game. They got sounds kind of dumb, but they were in like bodysuits and they would have hands for wheels.
I was following you at the bodysuit part, but then when you said hands full,
Yeah, I was like, oh,
They
we
got-
in Tron, and then
They got wheels on their hands, except for one dude. There's this one big fat dude that's got a wide lower body. But yeah,
I'm gonna
man,
look this up.
Kinetica was pretty sick though, because it was kind of like a dark, futuristic type of feel to it. I don't even remember if there was a story. I don't even remember if there was music, but I just remember you would race. There were tracks. The tracks were actually pretty interesting. Like one of them was like a jungle that you could drive through. One of them looked like a cool little factory type thing. But I just felt like there wasn't a lot of context inside the story. I think what would be cool was if when you revamp it, right, you can keep pretty much the same base characters. You know, I think it's only like 6 of them you can play from. You can keep them, give them a little more souped up graphics, and then really focus on trying to give a intense racing feel to it. Like, let's say you get a guy like Skrillex on the soundtrack.
Right.
That'd be wild, you know, because it's in the future. It's a little dark, a little eerie. There's some Skrillex in there. There's some, you know, there's
I
some.
can get it.
They have tricks. Maybe you could implement like a trick meter that'll give you more speed. Like how, I mean, even in Mario Kart, you do a little flip, you get a little speed boost.
Right.
Kinetica, there were tricks in there, but they were just look cool. So maybe you incorporate some type of speed boost to it. Maybe reinvigorate some of the backgrounds a little bit, make the racetracks a little more engaging, and probably on top of that, throw in some type of story. You know, why are these people racing? How did they get to where they are now? Well, why is the world like this, and why are these people racing? You know, that's just one thing that I think would be really interesting. Kinetica.
Hey, yo, get this. It was made by Santa Monica Studios.
Yep. Santa Monica Studio.
People that make
that's
God of War,
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. This is a PS2 exclusive too.
Yeah.
So I mean, Sony could, if they wanted to, splash out the cash. It's not like it did terrible. It's just like it wasn't that exciting when you
It
have
seems
games
like
like
it got pretty good, decent reviews.
yeah. it's not as cool as Need for Speed. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's I think if they brought it back, give it more time, maybe implement some more innovative racing features. Because honestly, all racing games are kind of the same. You know, you really have to go to the drawing board and see how to make things cool with it. Like maybe you could implement like a fighting while driving type of thing.
Right.
That'd be kind of interesting. Like Twisted Metal, but less on the fighting, more on the racing, I guess. Twisted Metal also a game I did not play too much of.
I didn't even know it existed until when it was getting that sequel a couple years back. People was talking.
I always knew about the clown guy. That was it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I knew about the clown guy too. Yeah, man, Connecticut, it deserves a second chance. It deserves a revamp. It was reproduced on the PS4, but it's the same exact game. You know what I mean? You know how PS4 would be like, and here's a classic PS2 game. But it doesn't change it at all. It just kind of puts it on a new platform. Yeah, man. I just wish that they would make things a little more interesting with the game. Because I did enjoy it. It's just that I couldn't play it for too long just because there's no substance outside of just racing over and over and over again.
Yeah, and it doesn't. As he described it, it actually kind of looks dope in terms of how the characters look.
Yeah, the characters have literal hands on their wheels on their hands.
Yeah, they're in like cybernetic suits. It looks like.
Yep. They got wheels at the elbows. Be sick. All right. So my second one, another racing game, but a little. This one's also kind of different. It's called Downhill Domination. It's actually a dirt bike racing game, right? But it kind of has a similar formula to Mario Kart, except it's you're racing on dirt bikes, and you can do tricks and stuff, as you should be able to. And there was like a fun feature that I would do with my friends, where you were able to hit people that are next to you. So first you start off with a punch. It would take like maybe 3 punches to knock somebody off their bike, and then whenever you knock someone off their bike, your melee attack increases. So it goes from a punch to a kick to you like slamming your bike into them, and then you got to throw water bottles after that. And the water bottle one was really satisfying because you would see all the water explode on somebody. It's hilarious. It's pretty fun.
Then you ain't get to grab no bats.
Nah, nope. I mean, you're on a bike. I think this game is pretty
You
fun.
swing somebody with better on a bike. Good try.
It was very interesting game. It's very similar to SSX. You know what I mean? The snowboarding game, snowboarding racing game.
That game was dope.
Yeah, man. This one was dope because you had very interesting sceneries as well. Like you're on an island, you're just literally racing through the mountains. Very interesting backgrounds, very interesting gameplay. The soundtrack was dope. What was that one Black Eyed Peas song where it was like, keeps on running. It was in like every movie at that time.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking.
Yeah, dude, that song was even on this game. So I think if you put some tight, modern day music, revamp this game styles, characters a little bit because all of them look kind of muddy, a little murky. Improve the backgrounds a little bit, similar to how Connecticut was. Because on the contrary to Connecticut, Downhill Domination was a little bit more of a brighter game. And there's also another mode that was just like a straight up beat 'em up mode. So for like 4 or 5 minutes, you and your friends get dropped into a pit, and then you guys are just at the fight, and then whoever gets the most points wins. That's how me and friends would get a few heated exchanges, because sometimes off the beginning we would just punch each other and then someone would die and someone would get upset and be like, man, I didn't even get a chance to land on the track yet. You can hit people in the air. People were getting upset.
That's dirty.
And this was back in the day when on the PS2, you only have 2 slots, so I had an
Right.
adapter that gave us 6. So we would have the whole squad in on this. We would run some games. We would start putting a few wagers on the table. And then, we would just go hard on downhill domination.
And y'all always trying to gamble.
Is that a racist comment?
No?
Oh, okay.
How would that be
I thought-
racist?
I didn't know that was
They call it Asian. Actually,
I didn't know that.
like I have a friend here. She said there's a lot of Asians or a lot of Filipinos in Las Vegas because they like to gamble. Vietnamese people love gambling. Pretty much a lot of it's anyways, it's Asian stereotype.
Aw.
Long story short, both games super slept on. Not a lot of people played either of them, but both of them are very fun racing games. They're racing games that are a little different from your typical Need for Speeds, a little different from your NASCARs and whatnot, F1 Formula Racing. And they just like to throw a little spin on things, make it a little more exciting. A little bit different than Mario Kart because it's not as cute and cuddly, but I really like the ideas that these games had. And overall, I remember playing through them as a child. And as a youth, these games were the stuff. That's pretty much all I got. This one was developed by Incognito,
Okay.
who also made Twisted Metal and War of the Monsters.
And what?
War of the Monsters, you ever played that game? That game was sick.
That's not the one with Godzilla, is it?
That's the one with Godzilla. You play as these big ass monsters.
Yeah, that game was dope.
Yep. Made by the same people.
Yeah, that game was.
I would have put that on, but I completely
I
forgot.
don't know
about
what
it
you're
till now.
saying to me.
What? You never played either of them?
Nope. You making stuff up.
I had a friend that who had that game. It had like people like King Kong, Godzilla, in it,
Yep.
big mechs and stuff like that.
But did they have Mothman?
It might have.
I forget. I don't think Mothman was that big of a monster. You know what I mean?
You just gotta get a lamp. A giant
Godzilla did have some
spotlight.
underrated games, interesting.
Yeah. My 2 picks: Connecticut, Downhill Domination. Alright, take that thing away, Robino.
Well, I also had 2 picks, and they're both on the PS2.
Oh,
One of
wow.
them- yeah, one of them is also a racing game, so I thought you was gonna say
Oh,
one of
wow.
mine.
It's gonna be Burnout.
Nah, it's
Burnout.
it's called Jack X Combat Racing.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that is out.
That's
Isn't it?
what?
I swear that's out. No.
Like another version?
Yeah. Am I tripping? Or is that
Oh, I
Crash?
think-
That's Crash.
Just Crash that you're thinking.
You're right.
See, but that Jack X Combat Racing, I guess, in general, for my picks, it's more of remasters rather than remakes.
Okay.
Because
Gee.
I did think about a lot of games where, like, I wouldn't even say like I would remake it or anything like that because kind of how it was is pretty perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I did pick games that I feel like could use like.
See, it was hard for me to pick games, but I remember these two games. I really like playing those. I actually used to play Jack X Combat Racing with that boy Ed all the time.
Oh, and you were smacking him, huh?
Yeah, he came over and he got clapped. Maybe if they brought it back, they could. I don't think it was PS2, so I'm pretty sure there's no online. They could probably add on online or something.
Yeah.
Maybe get rid of this one power up. I know there was this one power up that was pretty OP. And it's
Is
one
it
of those
similar to Crash Racing and Mario Kart?
in terms of like the game, yes, but
Okay.
the power up is one of those things that you get when you're near the back, like the bullet, I guess, in Mario Kart, but it's not like it takes you to the front. What it does is it's called a supernova, I think. And it's basically a nuke, and it blows up everybody in front of you. Like legit, just blows up everybody. It kills them, and they have to respawn. You have 10 seconds to use it though when you got it.
So it's a blue shell, but for everyone in front of you.
No, they actually had a blue shell type thing. It was a lightning ball that went to the first person.
Oh.
And since it's lightning, since it's a lightning ball, lightning could arc off of that lightning. So if you're in the path, as it's going by, the lightning could arc off and hit you on the way to the number one.
I see.
But if you avoid it, it doesn't hit you. But that supernova legit just blows up everybody. That was OP. I'm like, bro, that's not fair. that was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I actually don't know if it had a story mode or anything.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't.
What would you do? Would you just add like cooler tracks and new tracks and stuff like that you could race on?
Yeah, maybe have some
Throw in some new power-ups and stuff like that.
maybe like, have you ever played Split Second or seen Split Second? That
I
game?
I think so.
It's like the movie looking game kind of, where you have a lot of movie set type tracks, and as you're racing you can trigger like movie cinematic scenes where like, oh, the boat, there was an explosion and now the boat's sliding down and is getting ready to mess up the track or stuff like that. Maybe have some stuff like that in Jack X, since you are fighting and then there's all these different explosions and stuff going off. Maybe you can target different parts of the map or something and change up the terrain.
Have y'all played any of the Jacks? Because I only played the very first one.
I haven't played any of them. I don't know if you want to count the racing game as one.
You've never played any of them? Wow, yeah.
I played the first one, and that man was quiet. And then the next few games, that man had a mouth on them.
Yeah, I played 1, 2, 3, and yeah, like you, the first game he didn't talk at all, and like Daxter just kept talking and talking and talking. And then you play the second game, and then like he starts talking, like what? And that threw me off so hard because he didn't say not a damn word in the first one. And then, but the second one was like, it was so different because like you could like jack people in their like cars and stuff like that, and there was guns, and I was like
GTA?
Yeah, as a kid I was like, bro, this is GTA but Jack and Daxter.
It's not tight.
And then yeah, it's dope. And then the third one's dope too. It's a great series.
See, I never played Jack and Daxter, but I played all the Ratchet and Clanks. I don't know how similar they are, but
yeah, Jack, I would say not too much in a way, I guess, but too much. Both are like platforming, you know, games. I feel like, well, they're both platforming shooter games, yeah. Just different world and different stuff to it. I mean,
yeah, they both had the main furry looking dude and then a little side character.
Yep, I would say Jack and Daxter is maybe a little mystical, some of the stuff it has, whereas Ratchet and Clank is space.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I mean, you could turn somebody into a sheep. You got that
That's
sheepinator.
true. A sheepinator. I played that one.
Yeah, that one's been remade.
Yep,
Well,
that one was
remastered.
sweet.
I guess that's a remaster.
Yeah.
But that was my first one. My second one is a Grim Adventure of Billy and Mandy game.
Huh?
I don't remember what it was called. I'm pretty sure it's probably just called the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy or something. It was a fighting game.
I think I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's basically like Smash, I guess, but Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, I think I know what he's talking about.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was fun. I don't actually remember if I played it with other people. If I did, it might have been against Ed.
Is this better than Challenge Showdown?
Was Challenge Showdown the fighting game? I remember I had Challenge Showdown.
That game slapped too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
always used to use Raimundo and the Kazusu Atom.
Raimundo was tight.
Yeah, that Kazusu Atom was literally just an explosion around you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't exactly remember the gameplay for Shaolin Showdown though. Besides Raimundo and that Kazusu Atom.
Yeah.
I know Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. You had basic combos for your characters. There were some maps where you could interact with them. So like I know there's a map at their house, and then the giant Cerberus dog is there. You can get up on top of the dog, and there's a chair up there. If you get in the chair, you can actually control the dog, and you're like breathing fire, and you can bite people if they get close.
Oh god.
Yeah, and then there's they had specials as well. I know every now and then these little purple orbs or balls, whatever they were, they would drop in, and then I think if you got 3 of them, you're able to do a special that can knock someone out, because you have multiple lives, and if you get the special off, it literally just I think you're untouchable while you're doing it, and it just takes out that entire life.
Oh, interesting.
And then they have I remember they had a little scene if you if it's somebody's last life and you use the special. It's either if you use the special or if they're about to die on their last life, they're sitting there like Mortal Kombat. I don't know, I'm probably remembering that wrong. I'm gonna say it's if you use the special on their last life. It's like
That's why it's gotta get remade.
Yeah, it's like a special scene where you have a dang, I can't even think of QuickTime event. You have a QuickTime event where if you get it off, you like send them flying out the arena. And it's their last life, so they don't come back.
They don't hit the screen though, right?
No, it's away from the screen.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even remember playing that one. Sounds like a huge deal back there.
Yeah, that one was fun. They had some of the classic characters, Grim, Billy, Mandy. I think the lady with the apple, she was somebody's mom, and I don't remember who. I want to say Erwin's mom. I think Erwin was in there. The dude, the black tentacle guy was there.
The black tentacle guy.
I don't remember his name. He was there though. I want to say Fredburger was in there. Yeah,
of course, you gotta have Fredburger.
Yeah, you had that
Fredburger.
You had the jack-o'-lantern guy. That was a fun game. I'm not gonna lie. At some point, I looked to see if I could get the ISO for it for my PS2 emulator. But when I did that, the place I got my emulations from, that site was down. Like, I don't remember exactly what it said, but they're not doing those anymore. So I don't know where I would get PS2 emulations from.
Speak with me, I got you.
Alright, bet.
You want to know another game that I used to play a lot of that I think would be tight if they brought it to the Nintendo Switch?
What's that?
Now don't judge me, but this game used to be hard. It was Hamtaro Ham Heartbreak.
Is that an anime? I
It
feel
was
like
on Game Boy Advance. Hamtaro was the hamster anime.
okay. I've never seen it, but I know what it looks like.
Yeah,
At
I
least
know.
Hamtaro, that is.
Yeah. The game was hard because there's this little demon dude that was making people hate each other, and your goal was to make everyone, fall back in love. And low key, the gameplay was really good. Like you would have to go perform different quests. You would have to go learn different Hamtaro words. You would have to do little side missions. It was actually a very invigorating game, and like there was maybe like 20 hours of content on it. This is a Game Boy Advance game.
Man, I'm just going through thinking about all the games I used to play.
Hey, but I just thought of
That,
something.
like,
You can go ahead though.
But
I'm gonna interrupt you, but you can take it away still.
Anyway, I remember I used to play like Lego games back in the day, and there was like Lego Island that like I used to love. And then there was like, all I remember about it was I was walking around delivering pizzas, and then like I was building
In the
vehicles.
Lego game?
It sounds really familiar.
and I was
For some
delivering
reason,
pizzas.
I also remember delivering pizzas or something.
Yeah, and then what's another? There's like a game called Body Harvest that was like hard as shit as a game as a kid. It was on Nintendo 64, and I just didn't understand how to play it. And like every time I got to like, it was like these aliens came and they were like killing everybody, and like you played a guy that was supposed to destroy them. But every time we got to the base, me and my cousin, every time we got to the base where like they was at, like, they killed us. And, like, it was just hard. And then there was like another one I remember, Last Corpse, and the only thing I remember was it had this song that was like "Time to Get Moving."
What?
It's the only thing I remember from that game, and like blowing stuff up. That was kind of like the point of the game, was to like destroy stuff. Fun
See,
times. Fun times.
I was
Some
gonna
good
say,
ones.
I was gonna say that what they need to remake, you know, after Persona 5 came out and all these new fans came onto it, they need to go. That came out of nowhere. They needed.
Hey, bro, he got the corona.
No, bro, I got
Don't get me sick.
I got these allergies though. Hay fever, it's hay fever season.
Right. Whatever.
But after getting all these new fans, they need to go back and remake the old Personas, like the first one that's on PS1,
Yeah,
Persona
Oh,
2.
yeah.
I heard
3.
two. I heard 2 is very dark, so I'm interested.
Weren't the first couple dark? I know 3 you shot yourself in the head to summon your Persona.
3 is pretty dark, but yeah, 3 is pretty dark too. 4, the crazy thing about it is 4 is dark, but at the same time, it feels very lighthearted and fun.
I mean, it's the music, I think.
I
The
mean,
music
even
in the moments.
in the color, I mean, like the color palette, the color theme of the whole game is very bright. But I mean, like, people are just getting murdered out there, like in gruesome ways. So
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, the story is kind of the same as 5.
yeah, in a way, yeah.
Okay.
I think what they did was they kind of, I hate to say it, they like dumbed down the story a little bit to just be a little bit more accessible.
You talking about for 5?
Well, 4 and 5, I think they kind of just dumbed down the stories a bit and like the themes a bit to not be so, I don't know, just to be more accessible and stuff like that. Because I felt like 3.
Maybe
dark.
because you
And
know,
and I think they expanded on the characters a lot better, things like that, and what you could do with your characters and stuff.
well, because you know it's a part of the Shin Megami Tensei series, and I think Shin Megami Tensei is supposed to be dark. I mean, you're like demon
Yeah.
hunters or something like that,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a spin-off of that. And it used to be called Shin Megami Tensei Persona, and then they dropped that first part and just left Persona. I don't know where they did that at. Maybe the second or third one. And then
I think they did it with 5. I felt like I think
Well,
the other ones are still called Shin Megami Tensei.
4.
Yeah, 3 and 4. They might have dropped it with 2.
I don't know. I just know they made they made some things easier for in 5, like that secret ending. That
Yeah.
was so much easier to get in 5 compared to 4.
Right.
It's true. It almost wasn't even a secret.
I know that just seemed like the good ending.
I got it on accident. I was just playing the game, and then you're like, I got the bad ending. I was like, how?
No. The real difference you see between 3 and 4, because 3's dungeons were terrible, and then 3's dungeons were terrible. 4's dungeons pretty cool,
Man,
but 5 dungeons were way better.
I feel like it's hard to try to go back to 4 after playing 5. Like,
It
I
really
remember
is.
playing 4. I'm running up in those dungeons trying to, like, I see the shadow. I try to come up behind it and hit it, and you have to be super close, like basically right on top of the shadow to hit it, and you miss it. And if you miss, that shadow immediately knows you're there, and for some reason loops around and hits you in the back. So now the shadow has advantage on you.
Dang.
And it's basically
That's some Naruto substitution juice type stuff.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, how did all this happen in the time that I swung? That was like a slow swing.
Right.
It was
What's
a setup.
Yeah, and then social links got progressively better and better. I know, I thought too.
Risei was the best. Fight me.
I mean,
It was Risei and then Yukiko. My friend said Chie.
Chie was cool, but she wasn't waifu material
They also picked Futaba.
for me, at least.
They also
Futaba-
picked Futaba,
Yeah.
the little
Futaba-
girl who was the
Futaba's
same
like-
age as everyone.
Futaba is
She was.
the easiest
She was.
to pick.
No,
because
Futaba in 5.
But yeah, I'm just saying Futaba's like the easiest to attach to for any game, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know when Justin said, when JT said that. I don't know if he meant. He said
Oh, no,
little
I was
girl.
talking trash. That little girl who's the same age as all of them, but still a little girl.
I mean, she's like 1 year younger, right?
Yeah, she's basically. the
My
same.
thing was, I felt like Futaba was more like a brother sister type
Yeah,
relationship,
exactly.
and I was like
That's the fam.
yeah, that's fam right there.
Hey, you know how anime is.
I mean, well, you have 4 with your cousin having a crush on you, so. Anyways, we digress. You know, another obscure game that I wouldn't mind if it got remastered was Okage, the Shadow King. I don't know if you guys know.
Oh, Kage?
Yeah, Okage, the
Yeah,
Shadow.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I wouldn't mind a remake of that.
I don't know that one.
It was like this kid. This kid, he like. He goes to the circus, and then he gets like some sort of artifact or something like that. His dad gets him an artifact or something like that, and like he touches the artifact, and is it Okage? Yeah,
think so.
there's like this big shadow dude. He comes out, and his name is Stan.
Yeah. He for real
Just
big
says
shadow dude.
a basic name like that.
Yeah. I understand.
His name is Stan, and he becomes the main character's shadow. And
Mhm.
like, I didn't really fully understand the story or what was going on.
Like,
but,
is he in your shadow?
Yeah, he becomes your shadow.
Dang, so we like Monogatari series.
Yeah, and then like you like go on a quest with him and Stan. Stan wants to defeat the evil kings. Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Because Stan is an evil king himself, and he
Right.
wants to defeat the other evil kings to become more powerful. So you set out the journey to do that.
So he's like a Sith. He doesn't want to spread it.
Yeah, pretty much. But I always played that game, kid. It was very dear to me.
That'd be cool remake because it is turn-based
Mm.
RPG style.
It was
game.
turn-based, and it used like people's elements and affinities. I just remember it got hard, because when you started fighting those evil kings and stuff like that, and I think even some of them joined you, stuff like that. But it got hard.
I think it'd be interesting to play. Love me a good turn-based.
I know for one of my picks, I almost picked a PS1 game, the Looney Tunes Lost in Time. I think that's what it was called.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that game was tight.
That
Yeah.
game was dope. I was just thinking about. I was like, "There's this Looney Tune game I used to love to play, but what was it?"
That game
Yeah,
was
I
tight.
almost picked it. I don't think I ever finished it because I didn't have a memory card.
Oh,
so-
same.
Yeah,
So
I
just did
always
the
played
first,
it.
the first level on the Wizard Mountain or something, or whatever, you know what I'm talking about? I always did that first part.
I don't remember the Wizard Mountain. I remember
I don't
the
know how to describe it.
the dinosaur area.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
I think I always got up to the Mafia area. That might have been the farthest like that.
What about though? Donald Duck going quackers. Did you guys ever play that?
Nope.
That one.
I don't know what that is.
That was pretty dope. That was pretty dope. Another cool thing about that Okage the Shadow King though, I thought it had like a pretty unique art style. It's kind of like
Like
I don't even know.
Okame?
no, it was like a strange gothic type. It was
Yeah.
like Tim Burton. It was like Tim Burton-ish. That's what it was
Okay.
like. Yeah, its art style was Tim Burton-ish.
Yeah.
Okage.
I like that Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it was. Its art style was very Tim Burton-ish.
I thought that movie gave you nightmares.
When did
Before
I say
Christmas.
that?
It always happens before Christmas.
I just had them try to make you look like a baby boy, you know. Well, I think that's all the games I have on top of my head right now.
This was good to talk about it because it brought back memories of games I used to play.
That's all nostalgia, you know.
Now you're gonna have to go find them ISOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will. I think I kind of want to play Okage the Shadow King, Okage.
You gotta learn how to say it first.
Yeah, I always said Okage as a kid because I didn't know. I wasn't with it. I wasn't cultured.
Okay.
I was
Okay. Understandable. You're right.
Ah man. Well, it's been your boys here at Respected Tilt. It's been me, the Fly Man, your boy JT. Say something for the people as we leave for the day.
JT Corona Free 2020.
Hey, Robino, show some love.
It's me, Great Robino. People think I got the corona. I don't.
But he quarantined.
Everybody quarantine.
And I stay
They told us not to go to work.
inside, and my wife's been a germ that she's got lots of Lysol and type stuff and the spray downs frequently. So I ain't getting corona here either. But remember, yo, be clean out there. Stay corona free.
And please wash your hands.
Yeah, if you do got corona, please,
Keep
Contain
that to
yourself.
yourself.
yes, contain yourselves and get well. And listen to this podcast. And always remember, though, respect the tilt.
Respect that tilt.
Stop being dirty.
Hey, don't insult the viewers.